What's up guys, Doomsday here. Today we're back again, and in this video we're going to be playing some Wukong in the jungle. So for this match, I'm actually in a 5-man, and Wukong is very nice to play in a 5-man just because if you're partnered up with people that you know can dish out some reliable damage, Wukong becomes a very good supportive jungler that can also deal a decent amount of damage if you get some items too. But, yeah, it's a bit more of a struggle in solo queue with Wukong because towards the late game, your damage falls off. You know, ADCs, all these mages and stuff, their damage starts to pick up in the late game. But, I know that at least in a party, we'll at least take objectives. If I get ahead, at least we'll snowball as a team. And unfortunately, our Shen has to flash. Oh my gosh, I cannot talk. As a tongue twister. Shen has to flash here. And their set also flashes, so now both the Baron laners just burn their flashes. I'm just keeping an eye out on what people are using here, so now, see they're all backing off there, and actually kind of changes up my jungle rotation, because probably I would have just cleared these camps over here and then worked towards the top side of the map, and then tried to get level 5 and look for a gank on the duo lane. But now that I see that these Baron laners have burned both of their flashes, and that they're all super low too, I kind of change up my rotation. I clear only the red side jungle, and I look for a gank on this bot side here, because I know they're pretty low, they don't really have much escape or anything, and I know I can look for a good engage. So, I'm taking this last camp here, and I know I'll have level 3 now, so looking for a gank. This set is super low, but you also have to be super careful whenever you gank a set, just because, you know, set has a lot of abilities that can definitely make something go from 100 to 0. So I'm looking for the engage over here. I see the Nunu pop up, so I realize I have to go for this quickly if I want to, and we're able to pick that up at least. And now the Nunu unfortunately does not have enough health or damage or levels or anything to actually do anything to either of us. So now I move towards the scuttle. I see Nunu's kind of heading this way, and something that I'm keeping an eye on is this mid lane here. Because if the Nunu rotates, once this set comes back, I need to keep an eye on if our mid lane is going to rotate or not. So now I'm trying to just secure this here. Thankfully, I'm able to pick it up. And now I'm trying to get this Nunu over here. But now notice what's missing. If you're looking very closely, you would have noticed that the Diana actually started rotating a little bit before my Ahri. So this Diana is probably somewhere around here right now. So that's why I don't keep on chasing this Nunu up, because I know that Diana is somewhere in this area over here. So now I wait for my Ahri to catch up, and as we can see, Diana was right over there. And now that Ahri is in position, we look for an engage over here. We're able to get this Nunu over here. He flashes out, but we get him in time. Looks like the red buff on the set, Shen, actually got him. And notice a key thing over here that I actually did. It's very small, but it can really add up or maybe save somebody in a case. But notice how what happened was Diana used their first ability, and it only hit me. As you can see, I'm the only one that's hit by this moonlight thing over here, meaning that if Diana dashes onto me, their dash ability is going to get reset. So notice what I'm doing. I'm kind of running away from the Diana. That way I'm out of range for their dash, so they can't get a reset on the dash. So you see, they just have to dash onto this Shen instead, so they do not get the reset on it. And Shen definitely could have lived if he would have just kept on running upwards, but he kind of got himself killed with that. But that's okay. We're still able to pick up that Diana there, but that's just something to really point out. It wasn't the biggest thing in this case, but in bigger team fights, that's really huge, because Diana's cooldown on their dash ability is so long if they don't get the reset on it. So for instance, if they land a first ability on you, like their little like moonlight thing, and then they dash onto you and ult, then they're just going to keep on resetting their dash ability and just dash to your carries and just completely delete them in the later stages of the game. So that's just something that you want to keep an eye on. So they have the scuttle over here now. I'm level 5, so I'm looking for a gank. I see the Nunu over here, and looking to see if we can get a good counter gank in. I'm trying to set up some warding. We really don't have any vision or anything, but I know I'm level 5 compared to most of them. They aren't really level 5 yet. So I'm looking to kind of try and force this advantage here. So I see this Diana here. I kind of start up a skirmish. I see the Nunu and get a good charm, and we're able to chain crowd controls there and able to not pick up the Diana, unfortunately. That Nautilus got a pretty good rotate in, but now I'm heading back towards the berries. We're able to pick up some kills, and that was a huge ult by Shen, and we're able to clean that up. So unfortunately, we did lose a decent amount of bot turret for that, but we're able to pick up some kills instead, which is pretty good. And that gives us pretty good map control. So now I'm looking to rotate back to my right side jungle, and I kind of have an idea of where the Nunu was going. So when the Nunu was going for this gank up here, he actually didn't have the red buff on him. You could see like underneath the logo if somebody has the red buff on him. Like, we'll see once I take the red buff. You can see if you have red buff, blue buff, or whatever. But I know he hasn't taken it yet, and it just respawns. So I'm assuming he's probably clearing his red side jungle right now. similar to what I'm doing. And now I'm keeping an eye on this bot side matchup over here. This set does have higher levels than Shen and has probably more gold just because he got all those plates off the turret and all his minions when Shen ulted. But overall, as a team, looking pretty good. I'd take up the red buff. I'm just trying to clear out my jungle before these objectives spawn. That's really the huge thing. But as you can see, pushing that advantage, if you realize you get level 5 before like enemies, looking to try and pick a fight is so huge. So now, as I said, Nunu cleared that red buff and now looking for a gank. That was a good job by Jinx dodging that. And unfortunately, Nunu does not have enough damage yet to do anything. So now I'm looking for a dive onto this set over here. I'm waiting for him to engage a bit harder and he ults me, but oh, shoot. Actually, he might get away. He did get away. Oh, that Diana. Thankfully, that was a good clone. I'm just trying to dip out of here now. Should be fine. And I think at this point, we should just give up the turret. As you can see, I'm kind of pinging retreat, but then the Shen kind of goes in. And in a case like this, I think it's worth it to just give up the turret and like cut your losses. But we try and go back in. Unfortunately, I get pulled in by the set at the worst possible time. And the set, unfortunately, lives and they get the turret. So that's a bit unfortunate, but I was actually trying to land my first ability because I can get a little bit of healing from my first ability, so that definitely would have saved me there. And now I see they're around the dragon now. I'm on the way there. I'm kind of telling Ahri to try and keep an eye out. Ooh, Ari's kind of in a rough spot, actually. Looks like they might have to ult out. Unfortunately, they get rooted. There's the Shen ult. I keep on wanting to say set, but it's Shen. And now I'm on the way here. We have all 5 of us here. We're looking for a team fight. I have my ultimate back up in a couple seconds. So that's pretty good. The one thing we have to be careful of is Diana ult. That's really the big thing. And honestly, this is really bad of us. Like, no matter how this fight goes, this was pretty bad from our part. Just because looking at their team, they have Diana ult. They have a set. That's a lot of AoE. They have a Nunu plus Nunu ult. That's also a lot of AoE. Plus, if we get hit by a Varus ult in here, a bunch of us are going to get rooted up. So this was honestly pretty bad start to the fight. Thankfully, they weren't in position. But we're able to kind of pick them off one by one. And they kind of had a bad engage there. And I think on their part, yeah, I go down there, but able to get a couple knockups and stuff. And teammates are able to clean this up. Unfortunately, that Diana actually just deleted the Jinx. Holy crap. That Diana damage was pretty dirty. But Shen's got to get out of there now. I'm about to respawn. Herald is up. But honestly, that was a mistake on their part, I think. They for sure could have won that team fight if they wouldn't have played for the dragon. That's one of the things that I would like really heavily emphasize is first dragon honestly does not mean that much. In my opinion, it's literally like a scam. Like, whenever I'm playing for first dragon, I really am not really playing for the dragon. I'm just playing for the kills and for the team fight in general because you get so much more value than one dragon. But now, right now, we're just poking away. I'm trying to get him off our Ahri. Unfortunately, I don't have any more abilities and I'm caught around this wall, so able to pick up the Ahri, but not able to get the Herald, and that's all right. At least we're able to trade something. That's really the big thing is even if you lose an objective, you want to be able to trade something in return. So for instance, for them, if they would have just given up that dragon and played for the team fight instead, they maybe could have gotten like a kill or two. And so losing the dragon, it's not the end of the world because you get something in return. But now, looks like they want to try and dive this Varus. They're able to get that, and that's looking pretty good now. Our ADC and Shen are... Oh, dang, those turret shots almost took down the Jinx. But now, I think I'm just defending mid lane while our mid had rotated upwards. Or our mid's covering bot sides when Shen ulted up. So I'm just covering up these lanes here. And unfortunately, that set does take down the Ahri. And now I'm trying to keep an eye on what's going on over here. I start to head back towards my blue side jungle. I see the scuttle is up. I see Diana's here. But I don't have any vision or anything, and my teammates all just reset, so I'm not going to really contest that. As we can see, Nautilus was right there. That's a key thing that I really want to emphasize whenever going against like these high crowd control champs as Wukong, is be super cautious of champs that have like insta stuns. So for instance, Nautilus, you get autoed once and you're going to get crowd controlled. Twisted Fate, if they have their gold card pulled out, you're instantly going to get stunned up. That's just something to be super careful of. Because, for instance, if you third ability in with Wukong and then you get rooted, it just completely messes up your ult combo and everything. Because you can't really move and you're just going to get bursted down. And I think we're going to see a couple good instances of stuff like that later in this match. But overall, that's a good blitz ult. Unfortunately, like, look at that crowd control. And it's hard with that turret right there. There's the Shen ult, or Set ult. No, Shen ult. Oh my gosh, I literally cannot talk. And that was a huge Shen ult. That completely just saved our Blitzcrank and turned that around. So that's really good, playing with the global ultimate. And now just waiting for objectives and stuff to spawn up again. Looking pretty good. But for runes this match, I'm running Conqueror. I'm running Giant Slayer, actually, just because they have so much tank with Set, Nautilus, and Nunu. And even Diana's relatively tanky. So now I'm able to clean up that kill over there. And now looking pretty good. I already have 9 assists, actually. I have a lot of assists. But as for gold-wise, I am pretty far. I'm pretty decently ahead of Nunu, like 1,500. And that's kind of the weakness of Nunu, is like if you fall behind, it's really hard to farm up and everything. And now we're just chaining crowd control abilities. So now I'm trying to get out of this. Unfortunately, I go down, but looks like our team might be able to clean this up. That's a good pull by Blitzcrank. Actually, no, that's a bad pull by Blitzcrank. He kind of got himself killed, but we got the set at least. That's pretty good. This set actually had like a decent amount of gold. They're actually pretty far ahead of our Shen just because they got the entire first turn and they got a bunch of gold whenever Set was ulting everywhere. Or whenever Shen was ulting everywhere. Holy crap, I cannot stop messing this up. You get the point. Whenever the Shen was ulting everywhere, the Set was kind of just farming up. But looking pretty good. They don't get the mid turret with that, which is pretty solid. And now a really good thing with our comp that you want to pay attention with is we have a lot of crowd control. So for instance, Blitzcrank pull into like a Shen taunt, into like an Ahri taunt or Ahri charm, and then like my ultimate. If you can chain your crowd control abilities, right? So that's what I'm looking for here. If Blitzcrank would have landed a pull, I would have third ability and ulted and essentially just chained my abilities, and then they wouldn't have been able to move. That's a really key thing to just focus on, is pay attention to other champs that have crowd control in your team. So now I'm just setting up warding before this dragon spawns and farming this up. I'm watching out for Nautilus. I don't want to get rooted up over here. That might be bad if, yeah, Diana's around, Varus is around, and especially before a dragon, I don't want to have to burn everything to get out. So now I'll have flash. I have everything up. Our teammates are resetting to get some items before these objectives come up. And now I'm keeping an eye out over here. So I see Nunu's around. They're all on the way here. We have the Shen ult, so even though Shen is bot side, it's all fine. And now I see that they're kind of starting this up, and I'm kind of just like messing with them over here. Because I know I have a clone, and I'm just trying to burn out some of their abilities. Anything that I can burn out, I am. So notice what I do here. So if you go for this engage over here, if I had third ability and ult right here, I'm going to die. Because I'm going to get rooted by Nautilus, and then Diana ults, whoever else is around. There's probably somebody inside the pit. I don't know who's missing. Nunu's around there. So I'm just going to get crowd controlled. So I literally just third ability, and then I dip out, get a bit of poke damage, burn out a little bit of abilities. And look at that. Diana's like third of the health down, and now I'm playing in the backline. That's something really key I want to focus on, that I want to emphasize too, is just because you're a frontline, learn how to play around your backline too. You don't always have to be the one to engage. You can let your teammates do their part too. So notice how I was kind of just standing around there. I was waiting to see if Ahri lands a charm. If Blitzcrank lands a pull, then I can follow up with that. But if not, I get the Shen ult here. So now I kind of just go right on in and knock a bunch of people up. I try and save the backline over here. Unfortunately, that set deals so much damage. Actually, that Jinx did survive, which is pretty good, but they might have gotten the dragon. I don't really know, but it doesn't matter who gets the dragon because we definitely won this, getting 4 kills. Actually, I'm chasing down this Varus here. I still had flash. We get all 5 of them, and that's looking pretty good. Plus, now we get the Herald, the mid turret, and a lot of gold from that. So that is completely huge. So now I'll start moving downwards. See this Herald spawning up, and gonna take this over here. And overall, that's looking pretty good. So now they're going to keep on pushing this mid side. They got to watch out over here. Like, look at Nautilus. Nautilus is such a strong support. Like, look at this crowd control. That is just completely dirty. Just root after like knock up, or Nautilus's kit is kind of insane. And I realize there's kind of no saving this. Like, I can't go and do anything really. I'm already on bot side too, so I'm just taking down this bot turret over here. They kind of overextended over there, going for that second tier mid turret. They should have just left it, but yep, Ahri's just trying to wave clear over here. They kind of got to watch out. Like, look at that Nautilus. Oh my gosh. Even with the Ahri ult, oh my gosh, Ahri ult plus flash, and they barely get out. But now I'm on the way back. Unfortunately, we lose 1 or 2 mid turrets. I don't know if we had that one up or not. Looks like it was up, but now I'm on the way. I can look for an engage. And now, look at what I was talking about with chaining the crowd control. I ult, Ahri charm, I ult again, and we're at least able to pick up a kill or two. Couple kills, get 3 of them actually, and now they're the ones that overextended. So that was a pretty big mistake on their part, but able to track down that Nunu, and now gonna be taking up my jungle, farming up my jungle. And I actually bought Dead Stance. That definitely wasn't the purchase in this match. Definitely should not have gotten that. Yeah, they're mostly AP, like that Diana damage, the Nunu damage, some of the Varus damage AP, so Dead Stance is definitely good if you're against majority AD, but don't buy that against a bunch of AP, I'd say. I probably should have gotten, because I'm not too worried about my damage output, because my teammates have more than enough damage. A good buy would have been, I could have gotten either Abyssal Mask or Spirit Visage, but now I'm just focusing on securing this. I'm able to secure the Baron at least, and now notice something really key here, actually. Notice how I'm moving out of the pit. The pit is not the place where you want to be against high AoE champs. So against Diana, against a Nunu that's rolling in, against Nautilus, against Varus, you don't want to be stuck into a confined pit with that. That's why I move towards the outside, and then I look for a good angle onto this Varus over here. And I'm able to get a good re-engage, and we're able to clean this up. And I think this Nunu just gave up at this point. They know it's kind of over. We got a 13-minute Baron. We're scaling really well. We're playing pretty good as a team, so now farm that up, pushing these waves over here, and maybe we'll be able to get in the end. I still have a Herald, actually, so now we got Baron buff plus Herald. They're not up for another 7-8 seconds, actually. It looks like this Herald's about to get a ram onto the Nexus, so I think we might actually be able to get this end here. And looks like we're thankfully able to get this before they respawn. And that was a quick game, but I hope you all enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below for some more gameplay, and we can definitely take a look at this. But as you can see, Wukong, you can tank up a lot. Actually, that already tanked up the most damage per death. I guess I died in extra time, but you could dish out pretty good damage. And overall, just a really good champ and 5-man. But yeah, that turned out pretty well. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see y'all in the next one.